Hi there guys, this is Garth from Draw the Trigger, bringing you my Narukami deck profile. Be running this in my local shop tournaments tomorrow, so this is the deck I will be using. Here's the starting Vanguard, Spark Kid Dragoon. Now to be honest, it's not a very easy decision to make between the two starting Vanguards, the other one being Lizard Soldier Seishin. But I prefer Spark Kid's effect, even though he has slightly less attack power. His abilities being, when another Narukami rides it, you may call it to the rear guard, and then from the rear guard, Counterblast 1, put it in the soul. You can look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck and search for 1 grade 3, and if you find it, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Can be quite useful if you get a bad starting hand. So that's why I've picked him, and I generally use his effect more than I ever used Seishin's. So that's that. Moving on to the triggers, a pretty standard trigger lineup. We have the 4 criticals, that is 4 honest, and another 4. Malevolent Jinn there, he does have an ability which is to, when you put him in the soul, from the rear guard you can choose an Narukami and give him another 3,000, but generally I never use that. Generally he is just used for either dealing more damage or as a shield. So that's the criticals, again very standard, so it's 4 draws and 4 heals. Nice and simple there. That's that way. Moving on to the grade 1s. Again, not very much to say about this one. Red River Dragoon, standard 8k. Nice and simple. Next I have 2 Photon Bomber Wyvern. Where possible, if you get him, immediately stick him behind the Vanguard. Once your opponent is at 3 damage, the boosted unit will get 4,000 extra power. So this is actually, after 3 damage, a 10,000 boost. Vital when you're getting pushing for the win later on in the game. I run 3 Lizard Soldier Ricky. Very useful. Good utility card. 7,000. Or for a Counterblast 1, he gets an extra 1,000. I don't use it that much, but it is nice to have the option there, I think. And 3 Perfect Guards, the Wyvern Guard Gold. Nothing more need to say about that. Perfect Guard, very important, especially when your opponent comes up with huge attacks later on. And 3 Desert Gunner Ryan. Very underrated card, I think, Desert Gunner Ryan. When you place him on the Vanguard or rearguard circle, choose an opponent's rearguard and they cannot intercept for that turn. Very good at stalling them and causing them to use up their hand more to defend rather than intercepting. So very, very useful. Moving on to the grade 2s. 4 Thunderstorm Dragoon. Again, there's not really much I can say about it. It's a very standard 10k. And next we have 3 Demonic Dragon Berserker Garuda. Man, long name is long. Very useful card when you've got counterblasting as heavy as this deck can do. When this attack hits a Vanguard, you can choose a card from your damage zone and turn it face up. Very, very useful. Very, very useful. My last grade 2 will probably be a surprise because it isn't Dragonic Death Scythe. It is in fact Shield Blade Dragoon. Your superior interceptor. Because of course when he intercepts, he gains an extra 5,000, so he's a 10,000 intercept. My reasoning is that it's a good offense, it's a good defense as well. And he can very easily hit the right numbers of 16k with a Red River Dragoon behind him. Or even a Lizard Soldier Ricky if you pay the Counterblast to bump it up by the extra 1,000. It's a very, very useful card. And now moving on to the grade 3s. Yes, it is him. The obvious one, I know. But I only run 2 of them. Dragonic Kaiser Vermilion. As we all know, Limit Break 4, Counterblast 3. Until the end of the turn, this unit gets 2,000 extra attack power and battles every unit in your opponent's front row in one go. Brilliant card, I think. But I kind of feel like running more than 2 of him is a bit overkill. I know it increases your chance of drawing it, but I found that even just having 2, he's pretty much guaranteed to show up. There's not been very many games I've played where he hasn't turned up. So I think 2 is enough for the time being. Yeah, excellent card. I run 2 Thunderbreak Dragon. Again, Limit Break 4. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, he gets an extra 5,000 till the end of the battle. And when he's placed on the Vanguard circle, Counterblast 2. And you can choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rearguards and retire it. So even if you don't draw into Vermilion, he's a very good card to hold the fort with. 2, Djinn of the Lightning Flash. I think he's not really given enough credit. He's a very good card. Again, if you're holding the fort until Vermilion shows up, he's a very, very good card. When he's on the Vanguard circle, he gets plus 4,000 until the end of that turn, so he's already at 14,000 before boosting. And if you place him on the rear guard, he gets an extra 2,000 for boosting, to boost him with. So he attacks for 12 without even boosting. Yes, he can only attack the Vanguard, but generally a deck such as this will only be attacking the Vanguard for the most part, apart from when Vermilion's doing his Thunderbolt, or you're trying to go for their rear guard, say, your own rear guard even. Gets a bit too much stick. And my other grade 3, my last grade 3, is 1 Plasma Bite Dragon. Again, he's slightly underrated. I mean, for a Counterblast of 1, he gets an extra 3,000 to attack with. So it's very easy to get him into the 20,000s with any one of the 7Ks, or even with a Red River Dragoon behind him, he can hit 21. So again, very, very good numbers. Very good numbers indeed. So that's my entire deck. But yeah, your ideal setup would be, where has he gone? You'd want those two. That'd be your Vanguard and ideal Vanguard, an ideal rear guard. Anything either side, so long as it's hitting about 16,000, which is very easy to do with the cards available. If you attack first, they block all perfect guard. You can very easily just pass the 5,000 over there, either side, 21, 20k, easily. So again, it just makes them use their hand up, so then you have the hand advantage later on. And if your starting hand isn't that great, if your opening hand isn't great and you don't have any grade 3s and you have to use Spark Kid Dragoon's ability to counterblast 1 and try and find one, straight in with that on turn 2, if you've got it. Your opponent is less likely to guard. So yeah, it's not the most complicated of decks, but it is a very good one and a quite fun one for me to have learnt the game with. This is the first deck I had. And that's the end of my deck profile. Like, rate and subscribe if you want to see some more, and I will see you in the next video, so see you later.